Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new series in Crusader Kings 3. The game has finally been released and I am so excited. Now I do want to say before we begin here actually is that Paradox did give me a key early just so I can get acquainted with the game so that I'm not completely new to all the new gameplay changes on day one. So, you know, obviously if things go according to plan, which I hope they do, this video will be going up the day of release for Crusader Kings 3. And I've been really enjoying this. Now, there are some things that are obviously very different from CK2, the graphics being one of them. We have this beautiful paper map right here, and as you zoom in, obviously the world becomes more graphically intensive, I guess you could say, and it's very beautiful. So much better than CK2's terrain, and it looks pleasing. Very pleasing. They did an amazing job with this for the engine. And of course, with graphics, they've also changed portraits, so you have these great character 3D models, and that it's just so much better. It really is. So as you can tell from the title, we are playing as Great Moravia, but we're not playing directly as them at the start of the game. We're actually playing as the Duke of Nitra, which is Svatopluk I. Now, he actually became the king of Great Moravia and actually saw the largest territorial gains of the entire kingdom before, you know, his passing and his sons kind of ruined it for everybody. But yeah, there's a lot of history here with Svatopluk, or Svatopluk. Pronunciations are going to be the death of me in this campaign. I just want to warn you right now because yeah. Anyway, so Svatopluk I, there's a lot of interesting history between him and East Francia, him and his uncle, him and the popes of the papacy. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that we can talk about as we play here as Svatopluk I. So before we dive in here, let's just go over some basic stuff with game rules. There's not much that I think I want to change. Difficulty, normal, that's fine. Minor diseases, fine. Okay, regional heresies, yep. Mongol invasion, default. Okay, I think we're good. End date, 1453, that's fine. We probably won't play that long. I'm not entirely sure how long we're going to go with this campaign. Probably until we accomplish at least some of our goals, like... We'll take a look at some of that once we get going. Custom kingdoms, fine. Yep. I think we are good. Yeah. Oh, let's turn this off. Character nudity. That's one of the new things for this game. And, yeah, they show some things. Now, I'm not prude. I don't consider myself to be, but on the internet, on YouTube especially, you can't show this stuff. So if you would like to keep that setting on, then by all means, you play to your heart's content. There's a religious heresy that you can obtain that actually has you being nude all the time. So enjoy that. But yeah, we're going to play with that off, and let's go in. Okay, so like I said, we are playing as Nitra, which is a vassal of Great Moravia. This is our uncle. His name is King Rostislav, and technically in history, we do usurp him. We'll see how things go. We are the primary heir as of right now, but he could somehow bring in another child into the world, a new heir, which would complicate things for us. So we're going to look at our options as time goes on. But he is 52, so we have a great chance of actually inheriting just from him getting older. Okay, so the situation of Great Moravia at the start is actually pretty good. We start off with a decent chunk of land, and a lot of the nations around us are actually a different religion. They're Slovianskan, which is the Slavic faiths. And so we can do a lot of holy wars if we are able to inherit Great Moravia, and then we can go from there. Historically, Great Moravia owned a lot of Poland and Hungary, and I think Bohemia as well, so there's a lot of territory that we can grab here, and we will be good. I'm trying to think of what else we can do. Unite the Slavs, unite the West Slavs. Technically, we can do these. They are long-term goals, though. They do require quite a bit of territory, so we'll see. So this is the game as you jump in. It's pretty easier to look at, I think, UI-wise. There's not a lot... I mean, there is a lot to learn. But it's once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite a lot simpler, and there's a lot of cool things that you can do that you couldn't necessarily do with CK2. So before we jump in here, let's just go over some of the notifications we got at the top. So we have a lifestyle to choose. Lifestyles are kind of the same thing as CK2's lifestyles. You choose one of these, and they do different things. But they also have a skill tree, multiple skill trees, and you can flip-flop between these, unlocking different things. And of course, we'll do that as time goes on. Now, Svatopluk seems to get a better education in diplomacy because I believe, yeah, we're a Great Eminence. So we are the top tier level of education for diplomacy, which is actually pretty nice. Doesn't really reflect that in our skills. We are good, but that's not really a good number. Well, luckily, in the lifestyles, we can, of course, choose to go into diplomacy, and we could choose one of these 3 lifestyle focuses. And basically, each one focuses on diplomacy, but a different aspect. So, for instance, if we wanted to go to family, we would get a boost towards fertility. We'd also gain just some base stats in diplomacy for all 3 of these. If we wanted to go foreign affairs, it's just base diplomacy. And majesty gives us prestige and just a little bit of diplomacy. So I think, now we already have some skills here in this skill tree path, which is August. So let's just take a look real quick. So sway scheme power plus 30%, monthly prestige per dread plus 1%. And I will talk about some of these features as time goes on. This isn't a tutorial video, but it is a new game, and not everybody's going to be up to date on what each thing does. So I will explain things as time goes on. I'm sorry if I'm not going fast enough for some people in terms of gameplay-wise, but again, this is a brand new game and a brand new series in said game, and I feel like we need to stop a little bit, put the brakes on things, and talk about some things as they pop up. So, for instance, Dread is basically fear levels. How people fear you in terms of being intimidated or terrified, and basically makes you a tyrant if you have a high Dread number. Of course, every single one of these little blue texts actually pops up an entire little tooltip, which is fantastic. And you could go forever in these tooltips. Okay, we're doing the same one over and over, but I mean, you could just keep going into this little encyclopedia that just brings you all over the place. And it's really, really cool that they have this just right here. You don't have to look anywhere for it. They do have an encyclopedia at the bottom here, which has everything. But it's much easier once you can see it in action here, which is pretty nice. So anyway, we have sway scheme power, which we'll do in a little bit. Monthly prestige per powerful vassal on the council. That's good too. Praetorian Guard is monthly prestige per knight. Okay. So we're heading down a very magnanimous tree here, where the ultimate end node here actually gives us a trait, which is called August, which gives us diplomacy, martial, and prestige per month, which is pretty nice. Yeah, we're going to go with... do we want a family? Well, we have a family. No, we're going to go with Majesty. It doesn't really bring up our diplomacy that much, but the prestige is nice. So we'll go with Majesty, and as time goes on, we will fill up this bar here because of this experience, and different other things will affect this as time goes on as well. Okay, so that is lifestyles. The next thing is we are above our domain limit. Okay, so our domain limit's over here. We hold 4 out of 3 holdings. We have 2 vassals, or 2 major vassals, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. I mean, I'd rather hold on to the 4th province, or the 4th holding, rather, because, well, I just don't want to make any more vassals right now. It's fine. We'll be fine. Okay, so that's that. Right. We have some issues. Well, they're called issues, but they're really just your general notifications. We can declare some wars. We can usurp the High Chiefdom of Ungvar, which is over here, which we can do once we get actually 250 gold, which we don't have right now. Children lack guardians, so all of our children require some guardians, so we'll go ahead and do this really quickly. We will do ourself for the heir. For our other son, we will do... we'll do myself as well. Now, we can educate 2 children at once, which is the same as CK2. So we'll do our first 2 sons, and our 3rd son will actually go to... stewardship. Okay, so let's look for a steward. We don't really have any good ones, so actually let's go for learning. I think that's that's going to be a way better option. We'll get Bishop Vlastibor to educate our child, and we will also change him to focus on learning education, which would be more fitting for our educator. What is everybody else working on? You're working on diplomacy. That's fine, because we're educating them. And you're working on stewardship. No, I think I'm going to switch you to diplomacy. I think that'll be better for you. And our son actually has some pretty good skills right off the bat here. For 8 years old. So that's pretty good. Okay, what else? We are in line to inherit titles. Yep, that's fine. We are not endorsed by our bishop. Okay, so let's go into our council. And our council operates the same as CK2's council, whereas you have a couple of different slots here for different skills. So the bishop handles priestly things, boost your piety, propagate faith, and actually this is different. So they actually gave fabricating claims to your priest, or whoever, whatever title this is for said religion. Fabricating claims actually is done by the priest, which is interesting. It used to be done by the chancellor, I believe, but now there are different things here. So I think for the time being, we're not going to fabricate any claims. We do have some things to convert, which I think we should probably do. It is much easier to convert religion and culture in this game. You can see that there's actually a time frame on these. It's not just a random chance per year, which is so much better. So much better. I hated the percentage because converting culture and religion was always so low in percentage. But now we actually could see that in 4 years, this province will, of course, be Catholic, which is what we are. Which, again, really freaking fantastic. Now, there are obviously events that can coincide with that. I'm not sure if there's any negative events to this. I think it can resist conversion or embrace conversion, which speed up or lower the time it takes, but it's not going to be by much. Our chancellor, we could do either foreign affairs, which gives us monthly prestige, as well as increases fellow vassal relations, so the vassals of Great Moravia will be improved here. Or we could improve just our own vassal opinion, which would be good, because they don't really like us right now, but we can also handle those opinions in a different way, which I'll talk about in a second. But foreign affairs sounds good. We're going to gain prestige a little bit, not much, but it does add up. And our steward, actually, let me just take a look here. Okay, we do have somebody better for our chancellor, but this chancellor is also a vassal. So, can't really move him just yet. Okay, our steward is collecting taxes, which is pretty much what you want to continuously do with your steward. It's a pretty good thing to have them do. But we can promote culture as well. We can promote Slovenian, which is what we are, and get rid of Croatian. I mean, it's not terrible. Obviously, the benefits of promoting your own culture is to get more people in your court that are of your own culture that respect your rule. Having foreign cultures in your court isn't necessarily a bad thing if you have the right traits, but it can be can be interesting. I think, because we are going to want to usurp that title from the Ungvar chiefdom, I think we're going to keep with collecting taxes, which is going to add a little bit more percentage per month to that tax gain. So we're going to keep that there, but we can do that later. Our marshal, same thing as in CK2, we can organize the levies, which actually increases our levy size and garrison size. In this case, a lot of these things, you don't actually task them to a specific holding anymore. So this is a general organized levies. All of your holdings levies are increased by whatever this percentage is, which is actually a very good change that they made. This one will train our commanders, so our men-at-arms, which is our retinues, are cheaper. And then this one is control in counties, which we'll talk about as the need arises. Now, our spy master can either disrupt schemes, which makes it harder to have a hostile scheme against you, or help you with your schemes. And the last one is finding secrets. Secrets actually a really, really interesting new mechanic in the game that actually allows you to blackmail and hold a very big sway over certain people if you discover a secret of theirs. One thing I actually want to do is put this guy... Where's the capital? Okay, we're going to put our spy master in the capital of Great Moravia. So if there are secrets that our liege has, we have a chance of finding them and possibly holding a lot of sway over our own liege, which is pretty cool. And of course, you can do that with other people, your own vassals, so you can prevent them from joining factions, stuff like that. It's actually really cool. But that is it for our council. And I think we are almost ready here to unpause the game. Yeah, before we actually go forward. So our bishop currently doesn't endorse us, which means that... Right, so if we have any temple holdings in our land, we don't collect any taxes while the bishop doesn't endorse us. So we're actually going to want to sway our bishop to like us. Swaying is a little bit different as it was in CK2. In this case, we actually open up a scheme which takes some time to actually progress, and there will be events associated with this along the way to increase the opinion of the person you're trying to target. So we'll do that there. Now we also, I don't believe we're married. Oh, we are married. Okay, Princess Anna of Bulgaria. Oh. Does that mean we can get an alliance with Bulgaria? We technically could, but they don't want to. Because we're obviously we're a lower rank and a different faith. Right, they are Orthodox. Right. Okay, well, that is the possibility for the future. We could possibly get an alliance with Bulgaria, which would be very, very strong against the likes of East Francia or somebody else over here. Okay, so let's actually let some time pass, because there is some stuff to do. Our military currently is sitting at 1,008 levies, which, I mean, it's not small, but it is, though. Right, so what just happened here? It looks like the entire kingdom just broke up into more vassals. We have Trenson, Presporak, Prerov, and I think that's it. Huh. Interesting. Whoa. What just happened? Okay, Grant Vassal. Greetings, nephew. Good tidings. I have decided to make Count Ladislav of Presporak your vassal. Oh. Okay, and Trenson as well. Really? Why would you give these to me? That seems a little insane, because now I'm much, much bigger than you. Yeah, you only have 885 levies compared to my 1,120, which that's very strange, but I will happily accept them. Realm will lose land when your vassals die. Yeah, it's only because they don't start with heirs, so that's fine. Okay, well, we have some new vassals. We have a lot more territory, which is actually pretty cool. A new law was passed in the realm, limited crown authority. Okay, so crown authority is your laws. So right now we're on Crown Law 1, which is autonomous vassals. So our current law gives us direct vassal opinion plus 10, which is pretty good. Vassals provide levies and taxes, but are otherwise free to do as they wish. So they can do whatever they want diplomatically. The next law, which we can actually do right now, is the limited crown authority. Rulers can change between available partition succession laws. So we can change some things with our succession. And titles can be revoked, vassals can be retracted, and clan government stuff will provide different things. As you go up here, more and more things get unlocked. So they've included some of the laws into these generic kind of buttons here, but they are technically still there, just not in greater detail as CK2. So actually, I think I will pass limited crown authority as well. It does cost prestige, which did take a pretty big hit there, but prestige, piety, they all tick up. They tick up in terms of your level, right? So you have a level of fame for some of these. And right now we're established, which provides no effects. But if we were to increase our rank in prestige, we would gain different bonuses. So number of knights +1 and secular opinion +5 if it went to the next rank. Piety, the same thing. It just keeps going up. A devoted servant would be the 3rd level. Paragon of Virtue, 4th level. So you can see all the different things that would benefit us if we continued on a pious or prestigious path, which is very, very cool. And obviously the next thing over is the renown. Renown is your dynasty's progress. Your dynasty's level of fame, basically. Right now we are insignificant as House Mojmirid, but that can increase, obviously, and again, as you climb the ranks, you'll get better and better bonuses as time goes on. Also, with dynasties, and I know I keep going off tangents here, but I kind of there's so much to talk about, and it's a lot to fit into one series or video. And because I don't like doing tutorial videos, but I like talking about things as they pop up. Anyway, sorry. One cool thing that they added with dynasties now is that you can basically give them traits. Your whole dynasty gets these traits here, and there are different categories for it. So, for instance, in Blood, you can actually increase your chances of getting good congenital traits. So things like strong, beautiful, genius, those things have a higher chance with that trait to increase in your entire dynasty. And of course, as time goes on, you can get better and better. Yeah, this is a really, really cool thing. But again, you need to increase your dynasty's renown, which there's different ways of doing it. Living members actually helps quite a bit, but living members that hold a throne, not underneath another living member, increases it as well. So there's a lot of cool things there that allow you to expand your dynasty and see it prosper. But I think I'm going to end the episode right here. I know we didn't do much, and I apologize. But again, I just want to tell you guys everything. And I know you're probably not here for that, and I apologize. And I will let more time pass next episode. But anyway, yes, we are playing as the Duke of Nitra. In the next episode, we should hopefully see what we can do to maybe inherit or take over. Oh, he's got a spouse. Huh. Okay, well, we'll see about that, because right now he could possibly get a male heir, and that would remove me from succession, which is not acceptable here in Nitra. We want the entirety of the kingdom under our thumb. Anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching, and definitely stay tuned for more.